this is basically where I was when I made the decision to fish full time. This is Ithaca, New York. So I came here in 2005. Was still in school at Suco. I was commuting back and forth, and when I graduated with my degree, I was really not sure what I wanted to do. I thought at the time that this English degree that I had was worthless. So I was offered two jobs. One was at Lansing Residential, which is a prison for underage girls who, when they turn 18, get sent to Max usually. Didn't want that job. Turned that one down. Second one I was offered was at Lakeview. And I can't show you Lakeview because even if I were to film the outside of the building, it would violate confidentiality and privacy of the clients there. So, but I took that job because it seemed like it would be a good stepping stone for me, and they had a $750 sign-on bonus. I got half of it up front, and I got the other half when I finished 6 months. Actually, I think it was $1,500 bonus. So I was like, I can work here 6 months. That's no big deal. I can give me time to find something else. And then I got promoted, and then promoted. And eventually, I ended up running one of the largest programs that they had. Hi, Soph. So while I was doing that, running that apartment program, I was sitting on the board of directors for another nonprofit, and that's when I started fishing. And shortly after that, my dad passed away, and I realized that I was miserable, that I hated working in mental health, and that it had been 7 years, and I felt like I was dying inside. And my dad was young, and I felt like life was too short, and I needed to get out and do something for myself, something different. I didn't want to waste a minute. So I was ready to give my notice, and at that moment, the executive director for that nonprofit where I was the president of the board, she had been a cornerstone of this mental health community here for 30 years, and she just came down with brain cancer and got real sick and had to step down. And they needed me there at the time, and we decided as a board that I would be the interim director while they found a new ED. It was supposed to be 1 year max, and it ended up being 2, and the second year was horrible because the president of the board at that time wanted to take over, wanted to absorb us, and I wouldn't go along with that. So he made my life a living hell. But I refused to quit. I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of seeing me leave. So I stuck it out. They hired my replacement internal, and I walked away. And I haven't really been back here since. Little brief moments, but not really for anything else. When I left, I knew that I wasn't going to work in mental health anymore. I knew that I was going to do fishing and writing full time, but it was terrifying. The money was uncertain. We had, I'd been working full time as an executive director, and Myrna was working full time, And then Sophie was born at the same time that I left.
Oh.
And we went from having this like decent income between the two of us to having basically like zero income. And even the income that we did have, none of it was secure. So it really was a combination of faith, you know, that it would work out, desire to want to give it a shot. And then once I started, it was like I couldn't quit, you know. I didn't have any support at home other than my brother and Myrna. Everyone else told me that I was crazy. They said I was chasing some Peter Pan fantasy and that I was out of my mind. I thought that I had, you know, created this career for myself, and why would I throw that all away? But it just wasn't for me. It wasn't what I wanted. So I had to go. I don't regret it for a minute. I wish that I had made the leap sooner. If I'd had a little more support and encouragement, I would have. But I was already terrified as I was, and to not have anyone supporting you, it makes it even more difficult. But I've said this before, you can have all the support in the world or none of it. In the end, you still have to do the work. If you won't do the work, then you'll have nothing. I wasn't given anything that I've got. I had to work for all of it. So many people walk by this every day and they don't know the story of her or what it means to this place here on the Ithaca Commons. She was mentally ill, and her statue here is a memory to those who knew her. They change this down here all the time, but she stays the same.